The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we make it easy for you to buy here or sell here. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here while your vehicle is worth more than it ever has been, and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here at the Team Automotive Group.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you and yours. We start today's show talking about the continuation of deadly violence in the capital city. In the last 48 hours, a 22-year-old found murdered, a 39-year-old found murdered. It's, and you all please accept this in the spirit that it's given, it's getting to the point where it's old hat now. I would venture a guess that most people anywhere near any major metropolitan area are no longer surprised, shocked by what we see occurring far too regularly. But I saw an instance last Friday that was so disturbing on so many levels, it's hard to cover them all. Ironically, it happened near my old high school, Glen Oaks Senior High. According to authorities, two families had been feuding in recent memory, and the mother of one of the families apparently thought it was a good idea to take her 20-year-old son and 16-year-old daughter to the residence of the individuals they had been feuding with, knowing the 20-year-old had, quote, an assault-style weapon in the car. Upon arriving at the residence of the individuals they'd been feuding with, the 20-year-old exits the vehicle and opens fire on individuals at the residence. According to authorities, a relative of individuals in the residence grabbed another weapon and returned fire. In the course of his, quote, returning fire, the 16-year-old daughter was killed. The 20-year-old is now listed somewhere between serious and critical condition, and the mother shot as well and expected to survive. Now, I told you this story is disturbing on so many fronts. Number one, that in broad daylight, not that it would be any better at night, but you understand the sentiment, you bring a 20-year-old with you, brazen enough to exit a vehicle and open fire on a residence. Oh, and did I mention the 20-year-old, according to law enforcement, was arrested in late October on charges of distribution and the manufacture of Schedule I illegal drugs, illegal possession of stolen firearms, and illegal carrying of weapons in the presence of illegal drugs. So conventional wisdom says if there's anybody on the planet that should be looking to stay beneath the radar, it would have been this guy. But instead, as most reasonable parents would do, encourage him, direct him. You know you're facing these charges. You need to stay on the straight and narrow. Put this behind you. Learn from your experience. She takes him armed with a weapon to another residence. Now, he will be charged, if released from the hospital after recovering from his injuries, with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and aggravated criminal damage to property. Most caring, feeling human beings want to find forgiveness, sympathy, empathy for this mother. But because of one stupid decision, instead of settling a feud or getting even with whomever it was you were feuding with, you now have to bury your 16-year-old daughter. You may well end up facing charges before all is said and done, and your 20-year-old son could well end up in prison for the rest of his natural life. This is discouraging on so many levels, y'all. And it's something that so very easily could have been avoided. You know, it's painful that a 20-year-old, and listen, I get it. I understand numerical age is in no way, shape, or form any indicator of intelligence. I get it. I know some 40-year-olds that are dumb as a box of hammers. I know some 18-year-olds that have more common sense than any handful of adults that you can imagine. So age in and of itself is not necessarily an indicator of intelligence. But for a 20-year-old facing the charges he's already facing, to not think twice about getting in that vehicle with what is in all likelihood an illegal gun, get out and open fire on 5 people, automatically disqualifies him from the category of intelligence. But what about your own well-being and your own personal benefit? Understanding full well, man, I'm not looking forward to having to adjudicate these charges. There's a possibility I could be locked up for a while. But enough about that. I think I'm going to try to kill 5 people. In the presence of my mother and my 16-year-old sister, not to mention what could conceivably happen if someone, as the case turned out to be, in the residence that I'm shooting up has a weapon and in self-defense returns fire. This is just wrong and disgusting on so many levels. And at the end of the day, y'all, this could have been fixed at home. At the end of the day, there should have been a, quote, responsible adult in charge. Sadly, a 16-year-old girl now has to be buried. And yet another young black man, if he survives, will probably spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. You have heard me say God knows how many times, y'all, we're supposed to be better than this. But when I see a mother take her 16-year-old daughter along with her 20-year-old son already facing serious charges and engage in behavior like this, it makes me wonder. Maybe that was for my own benefit, admonishing our community that we're supposed to be better than this. Maybe I was trying to make myself feel better. Because when I see instances like this, I have to wonder, are we really better than this? Don't get mad at me. I'm just delivering the mail, y'all. First break of today's show. It is Tuesday, second segment coming up, so you know what that means, right? Yep, it's time for yet another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue the Clarence Bud Show only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I need to put an addendum to the tail of the last segment because the case that we talked about in that segment certainly qualifies to be included in this week's edition of Now That's Just Stupid. If you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, you may not be aware of the fact that in response to the ever-growing, rapidly growing, level of stupidity in this country, we've instituted a new segment highlighting the stupid among us. Now, keep in mind that we're not talking everyday, run-of-the-mill, garden variety stupid. That would be traditional S-T-U-P-I-D. What we're talking about here is a whole new level of stupid. Hence, the spelling S-T-O-O-P-I-D, as in, now that's just stupid. We start with the recently completed COP26 Climate Summit, where the elites of the world, celebrities, dignitaries, politicians, etc., all got together with one goal of saving the planet. You know the thing they do every couple of years where they preach to folks like you and I about what we should and should not drive, should and should not eat, should and should not use, all because, it's killing the planet. Well, the British government, after all of this wound down, put out some figures about this year's COP26 Climate Summit. The last time this summit was held was 2019 in Madrid, Spain. So the British government went back and analyzed all the things surrounding carbon emissions related to this year's COP26. They found out that this year's emission of CO2 was more than double that of 2019's and 4 times that of the COP15 conference in 2009. So let me get this straight. Over the last 11 years, to save the planet, you all have put together an event that has now more than quadrupled the amount of carbon emissions spewed into the atmosphere. World leaders, and I use that term loosely, billionaire businessmen, social influencers, all jumped on their private jets to fly halfway around the world, jump in dozens of cars long motorcades to preach to us about what not to do to destroy the planet. Huh. How many times am I going to have to tell you? This is all about control, y'all. These people want to control every single aspect of your life. Where you can and cannot live, what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot wear, what you can and cannot eat, what you can and cannot drive, all the way down to the freaking type of light bulb that you can use. But they sell you this crap under the guise of, we got to save the planet. Meanwhile, they're going on, not like business as usual, but 10 times worse. One set of rules for thee, another set of rules for me. And y'all still buying it. Now, for them to do it is one thing. For you to buy it, that is the literal translation of, now that's just stupid. Speaking of which, been to the gas pump lately? I know you have. Folks in California now, highest gasoline prices in 30 years. They are getting ready to bust $5 a gallon wide open. So what is the Biden-Harris administration going to do to help ease your pain at the pump? I got a great idea. Let's shut down another pipeline. Have you heard that the White House is considering kowtowing to the tree huggers to shut down Pipeline 5? 544,000 gallons of fuel every single day flows through the pipeline that he wants to shut down. Now, conventional wisdom says if you have just a smidgen of economic sense, you understand full well if you diminish the supply, then the price is going to skyrocket. I mean, you could graduate middle school and grasp that concept, but not the Biden-Harris administration. No, not these clowns. Now, we're only talking about in shutting down the pipeline. We're only talking about the impact to your wallet. Think about the number of jobs, both direct and indirect, that are going to be cut completely out of the equation. So not only in carrying out this leftist agenda, not only is the Biden-Harris administration going to hit you in your wallet even harder than it already is, but they're also going to cost thousands of people their jobs. Now, here's where they tell on themselves, okay? They will have you believe, well, this is a good thing. You know, we don't want to take the chance on pipeline rupturing and And then we've got a big pollution problem, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Did I mention a private company has offered to put up its own money to bury the pipeline so that there can be no environmental problems? But here's what they won't tell you. This 544,000 gallons of fuel that they're going to remove from the pipeline every single day, Americans will still need it. Americans will still demand it. We still have to drive cars, we still got to drive trucks, we still have to heat homes. So their save the planet mantra, here's how they play you. Shutting down the pipeline means all of this fuel is now going to have to be put in trucks and driven up and down America's highways, increasing the probability that there's going to be an accident. All of this fuel will have to be loaded on trains to be delivered all the places it needs to go. Again, increasing the probability that there's going to be a major environmental accident. But they'll tell you, the sucker that you are, they'll tell you it's for our benefit. It ain't for my benefit. It's for the sake of being stupid. And this, wink, wink, is allegedly, supposedly, what the highest number of Americans in the history of this country voted for. When Donald Trump left office, we didn't need anybody's oil or gas. We were totally energy independent. Matter of fact, when Donald Trump was president, we had so much oil and gas, we were exporting it to other countries at a profit. And where do we find ourselves now? Highest gas prices in how long? California about to bust $5 a pop wide open. And old Joe, he wants to shut down another pipeline. It might be funny if it weren't so stupid. Bottom of the hour break. Speaking of the Biden-Harris administration, question: what's worse than Joe Biden's approval rating? We'll tell you the answer when we come back on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Sharing holiday cheers starts in the rewarding Mazda CX-30. Find yours during the season of inspiration.
You'll feel inspired this holiday season in a new CX-30 from Team Mazda on Airline.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. You know, if you are fortunate enough to enjoy any degree of longevity, and if you are fortunate enough to be raised by good parents, you remember a lesson they taught us early in life. It's best when confronted with a question or an issue, it's best not to lie right out of the gate. Remember what our parents, those of us that were blessed to have really wonderful ones, taught us. If you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Because once you tell that first lie, now you got to come up with another lie to cover that lie. And of course, now that you've told the aforementioned second lie, in all likelihood, a third one is going to be necessary to cover the second one. And I'll be the first to admit, I'll fess up, it didn't take me long to learn that lesson. You know, 15, 16, 17, 13. You figure you're the smartest person on the planet. You know all the angles. So you very willingly spit out that first lie, not taking the time to realize I just stepped in it. Because if they ask me a certain thing about this lie, I'm going to have to tell another one. So I'm better off just not lying to begin with. Heading into the last commercial break, I posed a question. What's the one thing that's worse than Joe Biden's current approval rating? Kamala Harris's approval rating, believe it or not. This weekend, CNN LOL ran a piece on the discord brewing in the White House between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And of course, as you would imagine, the White House rushing to defend the vice president, saying, well, no, there's no division in the ranks, and the two work well together, and they really like each other, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as you can probably also imagine, the media and the left, in an attempt to run cover for the vice president, immediately played two cards. You already know what they are. I don't have to tell you. You already know what two cards they very forcefully slammed down on the table. The race card and the gender card. Well, you see, they set her up to fail because they can't stand her because she's a woman of color and she's a woman. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about that, shall we? According to the left and those trying to run cover for Vice President Harris, the reason we are seeing what we're seeing is because of racism and people that are misogynistic. They just can't stand women. So who was it that selected her to be the vice president? Oh, that's right, a Democrat. So apparently the guy in the White House is a racist and can't stand women. Who was it that put her in charge of the border, the border czar? Oh, that would be Joe Biden, who apparently is a racist that can't stand women. The Democrats are in charge. The Democrats are the ones who decide what issues, and in this particular case, what appointments are made to individuals to handle the problem. And of course, they point out the fact that, well, the White House went out of its way to defend Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. They went out of their way to defend him for taking all this time off so that he and his partner could raise their new twin babies. He's a white male. That's why they're supporting him. And they leave Kamala Harris out here to take the hit for all the issues they know she couldn't solve. Okay, so once again, it's Democrats that are showing racism and misogynism, correct? Never thought about it like that, did you? Didn't think so. And that's what they bank on. That is exactly what they're banking on. In the meantime, show you how the left works. All we've heard as of late from the Democrats, all we've heard is white supremacy is the greatest threat to this republic. You've seen it in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. They throw around charges of racism. Let me show you how stupid these jokers are. He's a, quote, white supremacist. Okay? The white guy that shot 3 other white people that were threatening his life. Now, maybe I missed it. I will be the first, God knows I will be the first to admit I don't catch everything. Maybe I missed this. But a white guy shooting other white guys, for my money, in self-defense, does not a white supremacist make. But they don't concern themselves with that. See, that's what happens when you use a term incessantly, whether it is justified or not. We talked on this show not too long ago about the Aesop's fable, the boy who cried wolf. And for those of you that slept through literature class, it's a story, fabled story, about a guy who cried wolf so many times that eventually nobody believed him until there was an actual wolf, which made it even worse. The same thing is with the tired, worn out, we're just actually all sick of it race card. Fact of the matter is, her approval numbers are what they are because she's incompetent. Yeah, I said it. She's incompetent. No one in their right mind, which eliminates a lot of y'all from the equation, no one in their right mind thought this woman was qualified to be the second person in command as the leader of the free world. We tried to tell you, would you call us racist? Would you call us misogynist? Would you call us all sorts of ugly names? Well, apparently a whole lot of our fellow Americans now agree, both on the Democrat and Republican side of the aisle. It doesn't take a whole lot to see it, y'all. It doesn't. And you can blame the media to a degree because they've run cover for this administration since day one. Vice President Harris is allegedly the border czar. Let me give y'all a heads up in case you don't already know. Our border is a disaster. Yeah, but Clarence, that 15,000 immigrants that they had under the overpass in Texas, they dealt with that. They got that out of the way. Apparently, you don't know about the couple 100,000 that's en route right now. Now, the media, in an obvious case of CYA covering their own, they're not going to tell you anything about it until they absolutely have to. At which case, they are going to feign total ignorance. Oh my God, where all these people come from? What is going on here? What is? They are en route, marching through Mexico right now. And it's not going to be that long. They're going to show up at our border, and they are going to make that 15,000 that were under the overpass in Texas, they're going to make that look like Disneyland. But, as the White House said this weekend following the CNN piece, and when CNN starts to tell on you, you know you got problems as a liberal. Rest assured, the White House, the rest of the liberals, and the mainstream media, as they did this weekend, will continue to tell you she is a, quote, bold and capable leader. If you believe that, I got a black Harley sitting out here named Jane. I'll let you have real cheap. Marty's like, not my Jane. No, you won't. And this, my friends, is what you voted for. Or is it? Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at the Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, reality is something that, regardless of how you view certain things, at some point you have to face it. Unless, of course, you're a Democrat, in which case your life mission is to ignore reality. But that's a different show for a different day. With inflation ravaging this country and millions and millions and millions of our fellow Americans, the attempt to spin this has gotten to the point where ludicrous doesn't begin to describe it. Stupid doesn't begin to describe it. This weekend on MSLSD, y'all call it MSNBC, they were pontificating about the effect of inflation on everyday Americans. And they came to the conclusion that the dirty little secret about inflation is that Americans just need to shut the hell up and stop whining because they can afford it. Can you say disconnect? Donna Brazile, well-known Democrat pundit, this weekend went so far as to say, well, y'all just need to learn to shop smarter. Okay. So let me get this straight. The tens of millions of my fellow Americans that are one freaking paycheck away from being homeless just need to buck up, buttercup, because you can afford the inflation. When you pull up to the gas pump in California and it's in excess of $5 a gallon, well, you just need to shop smarter. Or better yet, stay home, ride your bicycle. It's better for your cardio. You know, we've known for, and I will leave to you to decide exactly how long it is. We've known for quite some time now that these individuals, particularly in Washington, D.C., don't have a single thing in common with you and I, don't care about the issues that we do, and cannot relate to everyday, hardworking, regular Americans. Most of these yahoos have never had a real job in their lives. Now, it's obvious the majority of them have never been even in a managerial position, much less owned a business, because if they did, they would understand full well certain things in business you do not do. Because if you do, you're going to incur an increase in your overhead. And when that happens, you are going to either, one, take a loss, which runs counter to the whole idea of owning a business, or you will simply pass that along to your customers. You can make the argument McDonald's Corporation worldwide would probably be a pretty good predictor of trends and what it will mean for prices. And of course, we've now seen it here as of late, as McDonald's has had to raise prices all across the menu. But you know, you don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to figure out if there's only certain things I can get, if I only can get a certain amount of them, and if people can't get to me to buy these things, I got a problem. You don't have to be, an economics major at Harvard to figure that out. But the Democrats, for whatever reason, either can't see it, don't want to see it, or don't care. I'll leave that to you to decide which one it is. And hopefully the next time it's time for you to vote, you'll remember that. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Old School Barbecue is where we tape the show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We understand how tight times are. So as a result, come by for lunch. Check this out. The good folks here have actually dropped prices. Pulled pork sandwich, come try it. I'm not going to try to describe it to you. I'll let your taste buds handle that for you. Pulled pork sandwich, 2 sides, and a drink for, wait for it, $6.95. I hear the tire squealing, pulling out of the parking lot at McDonald's. Pulled pork sandwich, 2 sides. Now, and a drink. I don't want to be the one to tell you how to run how to handle your business, but if it were me, the bourbon baked beans and the mac and cheese, game over. Game over. Pulled pork sandwich, bourbon baked beans, mac and cheese, and a drink for $6.95. Can't beat it with a stick. Not that you would want to beat your food with a stick, but you understand the sentiment. Dinner special. Quarter chicken, sausage, ribs, 2 sides, just $11.95. you need to get by. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, y'all. It is truly the home of old school barbecue. If you are one of those folks that misses really good service, come by. If you like good service and good food, right here. If you like good food, good service, and being around good people, right here, y'all. Real easy. Easy to find, easy to get to, easy to get back to where you're going. And we would love to see you. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're here every day taping the show live. On Wednesday, Uncle Roy's podcast, he and Kevin Gallagher in the house as well. And you never know who you might see when you walk through the door at Old School Barbecue. It is a place dedicated to serving. And when all is said and done, as hard as you work for your money, don't you deserve it? Now, if you're one of those that, as Marty would call you, you big money baller, you got money to throw around here, throw around there, don't care if the food is good, don't care if the service is bad, well, that's on you. I ain't mad at you. Have at it. But if you're one of those folks that feels, you know what, I work hard for my money, and I deserve, when I walk through the door of a business, to be appreciated. If that's how you feel, this, my friends, is the place for you. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue. Come on by. We'd love to see you. It is yet another week, and we got a whole lot of ground to cover. Hopefully, you will tune in tomorrow. Oh, and before I forget, if by chance you miss a show, you can check us out on demand. Just go to YouTube. Type in the Clarence Bugg Show. Every single episode is posted there. And in exchange for that, all I ask is that you do your buddy a favor, will you? Spread the word. Let other folks know that there is a voice crying out in the wilderness. Well, it's not quite that bad, but only because we shout louder than some other folks do. Help us spread the word. We'd appreciate it sincerely. That being said, I'm getting a signal over here from Marty. No, well, you gave me that one. This one's next. Yeah, about 5 seconds away, which means my time's up, y'all, and it's time for me to go. But this day, maybe more so than any other in history, I got to give it to you. You are 100% hands down correct. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. There ain't a doggone thing you could do about either one. God bless.